Are you looking for the best 55-inch TVs? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best TVs on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Samsung QN55S90 CAFXA. The Samsung QN55S90 CAFXA, also known as the Samsung S90C OLED, is the best 55-inch television we've tested. It's a premium TV with fantastic overall picture quality and a huge selection of smart features. It has great peak brightness and perfect, inky blacks for some of the most vibrant HDR viewing experiences. It doesn't have Sony's top-tier processing capabilities, but it's no slouch in that department and is certainly good enough for anyone except for movie enthusiasts. Unfortunately, unlike the Sony A95L OLED listed below, the Samsung TV doesn't support any DTS audio formats, and the TV is limited to the less commonly used HDR10+ format rather than Dolby Vision HDR. However, for most buyers, this is the best-looking 55-inch TV they can get for the price, as it's significantly cheaper than the Sony. Thankfully, it's a standout performer for gaming, with full HDMI 2.1 bandwidth support on all 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. They all support up to 4K at 144 Hz, which is amazing for high-end PC gamers. You could also go for the Samsung S95C OLED instead, which is one of the brightest and most vibrant TVs on the market. It's basically a slightly brighter S90C, but it comes with a significant price hike and isn't worth it for most people. The Samsung S90D/S90DD OLED is now available. It gets brighter, does a better job smoothing out low-quality content, and has less banding and colors, but it's also currently a lot more expensive. Unless you really want the small upgrades it offers, you're better off buying the cheaper S90C while it's still available. It's worth mentioning that Samsung's 2024 OLED lineup is confusing, as they're releasing S90DS with both oled and QD-OLED panels, depending on the region and size. You can read more about this here. At number 2. Sony XR55A95L. If you want the best home theater experience, the Sony XR55A95L is the best 55-inch smart TV for movie enthusiasts. It has a QD OLED panel similar to the one found on the Samsung S90C OLED but has some of the best image processing on the market, which ensures you'll get the best possible home theater experience from almost any source, regardless of its quality. The TV also supports advanced DTS audio formats and the popular Dolby Vision HDR format, which makes it a standout performer for those watching high-quality streams or physical media. Unfortunately, it's significantly more expensive than the Samsung TV and is a bit worse for gaming due to its higher input lag. It's also less versatile because it only has 2 full HDMI 2.1 bandwidth ports, although it supports Dolby Vision gaming at 120 Hz. There's no real alternative to this TV. Sony stands alone with its processing capabilities, and this model is their current highest-end option. If you want a Sony OLED for its processing but don't care about high peak brightness or vibrant colors, consider the Sony A80L/A80CL OLED. It has a oled panel instead of the QD OLED panel found in the A95L, so it resembles a dimmer TV like the LG C3 OLED but with Sony's excellent image processing. At number 3. Hisense 55U8K. If you're not in a completely dark room, a brighter 55-inch LED TV like the Hisense 55U8K is better than the Samsung S90C OLED and the Sony A95L OLED. Although higher-tier OLEDs can now output impressive peak brightness levels, LED TVs like this can reach even higher peak brightness levels in HDR and SDR and maintain these peaks for longer. Besides brightness, this TV delivers excellent picture quality, with very deep blacks, thanks to its mini LED local dimming feature, which improves the appearance of dark scenes and further brings out bright highlights. The Hisense supports both Dolby Vision HDR and HDR10+ and passes through advanced DTS audio formats through eARC. It also has very good image processing overall, making it a great home entertainment option. Of course, mini LED isn't as good as OLED technology for a darkroom, as there's some distracting blooming around bright highlights in dark scenes, but it's still very good and is sure to please most people. Overall, it's a great TV for almost any use. It has a great selection of gaming features, including variable refresh rate, VRR, Dolby Vision HDR at 120 Hz, and HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on 2 HDMI inputs, both supporting up to 4K at 144Hz gaming, making it fully compatible with the Xbox Series X, the PS5, or a recent PC graphics card. Unfortunately, its viewing angle is subpar, which is one of the major losses with this TV compared to the OLEDs. If you have deep pockets, Hisense has a limited-release super high-end product, the Hisense UX. It's a bit better than the U8K for a massive price increase. Also, it's only available in a 55-inch format in Europe. At number 4. LG OLED 55C3 PUA. The best 55-inch upper mid-range TV is the LG OLED 55C3 PUA. Like the top two options on this list, it's a premium TV with an OLED panel that delivers stunning picture quality, especially in dark rooms. Like other OLEDs, it has a wide viewing angle that keeps the image consistent from the sides, which is ideal if you have a wide seating area as everyone can enjoy a pleasing image. Its fantastic reflection handling and good SDR peak brightness make it a good choice if you want to use it in a well-lit room. Plus, it's no slouch in HDR, and its decent HDR peak brightness makes small highlights stand out. Unfortunately, like other TVs with LG's OLED panel, it isn't as bright or colorful as TVs equipped with a QD OLED panel, like the Samsung S90C OLED or the Sony A95L OLED, but it still looks good. It's an outstanding gaming TV with full VRR support, HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on all 4 HDMI ports, all capable of up to 4K at 120Hz gaming, and very low input lag. Price-wise, it's in an interesting position. It's about the same price as the slightly better S90C, however, the LG is a much better home entertainment option due to its better image processing, Dolby Vision HDR support, and pass-through of advanced DTS audio formats. Thus, if you want an OLED for a home entertainment setup but are unwilling to pay for the A95L, the LG is a tremendous choice. You could also opt for the much brighter LG G3 OLED, but it still isn't as colorful as the Sony or Samsung and isn't worth the price difference over the C3 for most people. At number 5. Hisense 55U6K. The Hisense 55U6K is a great choice if you want something on a budget in a 55-inch size. It's a great TV for the price, with surprisingly good picture quality. It looks great in a dark room thanks to its excellent contrast and functional, full-array local dimming feature, so dark scenes look great, with very little blooming around bright areas of the screen. It's also decent in a bright room, thanks to its good peak brightness and SDR and satisfactory reflection handling. This means you don't have to worry about glare. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the same great image processing as the more expensive Hisense TVs on this list, but it still supports advanced Dolby and DTS audio formats in both Dolby Vision HDR and HDR10+. It's a great TV for gaming, as it has superb low input lag and VRR support, so the action on screen is in sync with your movements on the controller, and there's very little screen tearing. Unlike more expensive models on the list, it's limited to a 60Hz refresh rate, which is disappointing for gamers wanting to take advantage of the capabilities of recent consoles and PC GPUs. However, it's still great for visually intensive games on consoles that target 4K at 60Hz in their graphics mode.